Apple has always had a strange relationship with the living room. When you think about Apple's biggest products, the iPhone, the iPad, the Mac, they didn't just succeed, they reshaped culture. They changed how people talk, work, play, and connect. The iPhone turned into a pocket-sized revolution. The Mac built Apple's reputation as a design leader. The iPad created an entire category of personal computing. But through all of that, there was one Apple product that sat quietly in the background. A little black box. A product that rarely made headlines, rarely dominated Apple events, and never stole the spotlight. That product was Apple TV. For years, Apple TV was simple, useful, and almost invisible. People who owned it swore by it, but the rest of the world hardly noticed it was there. You plugged it into your television, opened apps, and streamed your favorite shows. It worked. It was smooth, it was reliable, and it was polished in the way Apple products usually are. For those already living inside the Apple ecosystem, it felt natural. It worked with iTunes, with Apple TV Plus, and with AirPlay. It supported 4K, it supported HDR, and it was always stable. It didn't crash. It didn't lag. Compared to clunky alternatives from other companies, Apple TV felt elegant. But here's the truth, it was never revolutionary. Apple never pushed it too far. Apple TV was like a polite guest in your living room, never asking for attention, never making a bold statement, never demanding that you rethink how you use your television. For years, it just stayed safe. It was good, but not essential. Useful, but not exciting. That changes in 2025. This year, Apple has decided the Apple TV can't just be another little black box. It can't just sit quietly in the corner while other devices take over. In 2025, Apple is giving it a new identity. A louder one. A bigger one. Apple is repositioning the Apple TV as one of its most important products. This is not a minor refresh. This is a dramatic shift. Apple TV is transforming from a background accessory into the centerpiece of the living room. It's no longer just about streaming shows on Netflix or Apple TV Plus. That's only the beginning. The new Apple TV wants to be the hub of your entertainment, the brain of your smart home, and even your personal gaming console. And it all begins with performance. Power that redefines its purpose. Until now, the Apple TV 4K has been running on the A15 Bionic chip. That's the same chip Apple introduced with the iPhone 13 series back in 2021. At the time, it was powerful. More than powerful enough to run streaming apps, to deliver smooth menus, and to play videos without stutter. In fact, it could even run light games, the kind you might try on Apple Arcade. But here's the problem. Technology doesn't freeze. While Apple kept the Apple TV safe, the rest of the world kept moving. Competing devices started getting faster. Amazon's Fire TV Cube, Nvidia's Shield, even Roku's higher-end models, they weren't just running apps, they were beginning to experiment with features powered by artificial intelligence. The kind of features that need serious horsepower. By 2025, the A15 chip doesn't feel futuristic anymore. It feels old. It feels like a bottleneck. And Apple knows it. That's why the new Apple TV is now powered by the A17 Pro chip, the same chip running inside the iPhone 15 Pro. Now, if you know anything about the A17 Pro, you understand why this is a big deal. This isn't just another mobile processor. This chip is built for console-level gaming. It's designed for advanced visuals, for heavy multitasking, for pushing graphics and effects that used to be reserved for full-size consoles. And Apple just placed that chip inside a little box that sits under your television. What does that mean? It means the Apple TV isn't just about faster app launches or smoother menus. It isn't just about opening Netflix without lag. It means the Apple TV now has the raw power to run demanding games. The kind of games you'd normally expect to play on a PlayStation or an Xbox. That changes the entire identity of the Apple TV. Suddenly, it's not just a streamer. It's a contender. It's something you might use not only for movies and shows, but for gaming nights, for epic adventures, for the kind of immersive experiences that were once impossible on such a tiny device. And there's another point here. Streaming boxes aren't like phones. People don't replace them every year. You might keep one for 3, 5, even 7 years. That means future-proofing matters more than ever. By putting the A17 Pro into the Apple TV, Apple is guaranteeing that this device will stay relevant for years, not months. It won't be outdated by the time you unbox it. It's built to last. The network backbone. Of course, raw performance is only one part of the story. You can have the strongest engine in the world, but if the road is full of potholes, the drive is miserable. That's why Apple also upgraded connectivity. The new Apple TV is built with Wi-Fi 6E. Now, most people don't think about Wi-Fi until it fails. But if you've ever sat through buffering in the middle of a movie, you know how painful it can be. Or worse, lag while gaming. That single second of delay can ruin the entire experience. Wi-Fi 6E is designed to fix that. It operates on the 6 GHz band, which means less interference, faster speeds, and a much more stable connection. For 4K streaming, it's great. For 8K streaming, which Apple is preparing for, it's essential. And for cloud gaming, where every millisecond matters, it makes all the difference. Apple is making sure the Apple TV isn't held back by the invisible chain of poor connectivity. The gaming transformation. Now let's talk about the most surprising part of this whole story, gaming. For years, Apple dipped its toes into gaming. Apple Arcade was fun, but it never threatened the giants. It offered casual titles, entertaining games, but nothing on the level of what you'd find on a dedicated console. But with the A17 Pro chip inside the Apple TV, things change. This is not about casual anymore. This is about console-level games. And we've already seen proof. On the iPhone, with the same chip, Apple has shown titles like Resident Evil Village and the Resident Evil 4 remake running smoothly. If an iPhone can handle that, imagine what the Apple TV can do when connected to a large screen. This is where Apple TV begins to feel like a new kind of device. It's no longer just the Netflix box. It's a real gaming machine. And because it lives inside Apple's ecosystem, the experience becomes seamless. With iCloud syncing, you can start playing on your iPhone, pick it up on your iPad, and then continue on your Apple TV without losing progress. That's the kind of continuity no other console can offer. Apple also isn't forcing you to play with a clunky remote. The new Apple TV supports modern Bluetooth controllers, the same ones you'd use with a PlayStation or Xbox. That means gaming feels natural, familiar, comfortable. And then there's Apple's secret weapon, Metal FX. This is Apple's own upscaling technology. It allows games to run more efficiently, keeping high frame rates while still looking sharp. For developers, that lowers the barrier to bring AAA games to Apple platforms. For players, it means smoother, more beautiful gameplay on a large television. At this point, the Apple TV stops being an accessory. It starts being a console alternative. Not just a casual gaming toy. A real competitor. The bigger picture. But let's pause for a moment. Because performance and gaming are only part of the picture. Apple is also pushing audio and video into new territory. The Apple TV has always supported Dolby Vision and HDR10+. That means vibrant color, deep contrast, a cinematic look. But in 2025, Apple is rumored to go further, with lossless audio streaming. That means Apple Music could finally play at full, uncompromised quality through your home theater system. Combine that with improved Dolby Atmos, and possibly even DTS-X, and you're looking at a home cinema experience that feels like a private theater. For people who love movies, this is a dream. For audiophiles, it's long overdue. And then there's 8K. Some will say it's too early. That 8K televisions are still rare, still expensive. But Apple has always liked to prepare for the future. By supporting 8K now, the Apple TV won't feel outdated in a few years. It's ready for what's coming. The redesign and the home. For more than a decade, the Apple TV has looked the same. A small, black box made of plastic. Functional, yes. Inspiring? Not really. But leaks suggest 2025 might finally bring a redesign. A brushed metal body. A finish that matches Apple's other premium products like the MacBook or the iPad. This isn't just about looks. It ties directly into Apple's environmental goals. The company has been moving toward recycled materials and eco-friendly designs. A new Apple TV made of aluminum wouldn't just look better, it would fit the sustainability vision Apple keeps talking about. And then there's the smart home angle. Apple TV has supported HomeKit for years, but with the rise of Matter and Thread standards, it could now step up as the ultimate smart home hub. Imagine controlling lights, thermostats, cameras, and locks, not just from your iPhone, but directly from your television. From the central screen in your living room. That makes the Apple TV not just about entertainment, but about everyday life. Closing Section 1. So the first part of this story is about potential. It's about understanding how Apple TV is no longer content with being quiet. The A17 Pro chip builds the foundation. Wi-Fi 6E secures the network. Gaming gives it a new identity. Audio and video upgrades make it a theater centerpiece. Smart home integration makes it part of your daily routines. The Apple TV 2025 isn't just another product update. It's a vision. A vision where one small device ties together so many parts of your digital world. It's about watching, playing, listening, and controlling. It's about Apple finally creating a product that feels essential, not optional. And that's just the beginning.